Ever try, like, cooking a complicated recipe
Mm.
with someone peering over your shoulder the whole time?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Right. Offering, helpful advice every step of the way.
Yeah, yeah. Helpful.
That's kind of what it feels like sometimes, right? This whole in-law boundary thing.
You're so right. It's universal, isn't it?
Totally. Like, we want these relationships to be great, obviously, but it's a real balancing act.
It really is. You're trying to honor family, but also protect your own little world.
Exactly. So that's why this week's Deep Dog is perfect. 5. Count them. 5 fantastic tips for, well, smoother sailing.
Yeah.
Healthier, happier, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting is these tips go beyond just avoiding conflict. It's really about building those bonds, making things stronger.
Okay, I love that. So tip number 1
Yeah.
jumps right in with open communication. With your partner first, of course.
Yes, of course.
Seems kind of obvious, but why is that so crucial, that starting point?
Because you two, you and your partner are the foundation. Everything else builds from that.
Right, right.
If you're on the same page about what you want, how involved the in-laws should be, then you can present that united front. And that makes a world of difference, believe me.
Okay, so it's like, hey, in-laws, love you, BUT, here's how we're going to roll.
Exactly. You've got a game plan.
I like it. And that takes us right to what? Tip 2, that united front thing. But let's be real. What happens when you and your partner don't actually agree on those boundaries? Asking for a friend, obviously.
Oh, trust me, it's way more common than you think.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Remember, even when you disagree, you're on the same team. That's the key.
Oh, that's good.
Instead of, battling it out, shift that focus. What are the goals you both share? Is it family harmony or respecting each other's space? Figuring out compromises. Those are your guideposts.
Find that common ground. Then it's easier to work through the tough stuff.
100%. And don't be afraid to, phone a friend. Sometimes an outside perspective, a therapist even, can be so helpful. They can give you tools, strategies to, come to a good compromise.
That's great advice. Which I guess leads us right into tip 3. Communicate respectfully. Again, sounds simple enough, but families.
Oh, tell me about it. But here's the thing. Respectful communication. It doesn't mean sugarcoating or pretending everything's perfect.
Right.
It's about honesty, but you deliver it with kindness. You're considerate.
Okay, so how do you do that then?
Think about using I statements like, I feel this way when, and then really listen. Active listening, it's so important. And pick your battles, Don't start a heavy conversation at a bad time.
Oh, good point. It's like what our parents always said. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered open communication, the united front, being respectful. What's next?
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Tip number 4, respecting your partner's family. And just to be clear, that doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they do, right?
Right, because that would be impossible with any family.
Exactly. But it is about understanding where they're coming from, even if you don't agree. And, valuing those bonds they have. Those are important to your partner. So
It's part of who they are, their family, so yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
it all comes back to that common ground.
Finding the things you can connect on.
Yep. And speaking of connections, relationships, well, they change, don't they?
Oh, for sure. And that brings us to our final tip. Revisit those boundaries over time.
Yes. Brilliant, isn't it?
Because what worked, I don't know, a year ago might not work now.
Right, exactly. New babies come along, careers change, sometimes you move.
People just evolve too.
Absolutely. And the boundaries have got to evolve with you. They shouldn't be set in stone. What felt intrusive a while back, might be totally fine now, or the other way around. So allow yourselves that flexibility.
Oh, I like that. Permission to reassess. Tweak things as you go. Man, this has been eye-opening. We covered so much. Open communication, respecting each other, those evolving boundaries.
And, one of the most surprising things that came up in all the research is that those healthy boundaries, setting them early on, can actually lead to closer in-law relationships in the long run.
Oh, wow. Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
You're not letting resentment and stuff build up under the surface. You're dealing with it. With love, hopefully.
That's so important. Addressing things right away.
Yes.
So much to think about. Now, here's a question you, listening, can ponder. Families today are changing so much. There's blended families, different ways of, well, everything really. Gender roles, chosen families.
It's true.
So how do you think this whole in-law thing is going to keep changing? What does the future hold? It's a whole new world of families out there. And I got to say, I'm fascinated to see where it all goes.
Until next time, everyone.